Legendary hatchy time! So, yes, we've got the Deco dragon here that we unlocked a little while ago, and he's finally ready to hatch. And by us hatching this legendary Deco dragon, it means that we get to unlock the snaky boy APEP, which is the legendary version of APEP, not to be confused with the divine version of the APEP dragon, which is being released in the castle event. But, normal APEP, and I've actually run out of space, so I'm trying to work out which legendary I'm gonna pop into the Vault of Death. Yeah, let's put Gemini Beta in there, and then we can pop Mr. Deco into a habitat. And there we go. The Snake Charmer collection is complete. Just by hatching all 6 of the required dragons, you get this screen that says, "Congrats, you've successfully finished the Snake Charmer. You got the APEP dragon." Wonderful. So he's a legendary, energy, and wind dragon. So keep that in mind when you unlock him. Maybe you're a super low level person that managed to get this guy, in which case, maybe you want to consider it. But a really cool looking dragon and a free legendary, that is a-okay in my book. So let's go and get his egg. Where is he? He's in here somewhere. There he is, next to the castle dragon. So we will go ahead, hatch him. Like all legendaries, takes 2 days. So we will go. 2 days later, and here we are. Our beautiful little legendary snake is now ready for us to take a look at. So, you know, his egg is pretty regal. Pretty regal. I like it. But you know what I like more? Not buying him when he was first available and getting him for free now. So, as a legendary dragon of chaos and darkness, the APEP dragon is in constant battle with the Ra dragon. His intense gaze can make even the most seasoned Viking or divine dragon stop in their tracks. So the APEP dragon is he's an interesting little legendary in terms of what his elements will do for your team, but I mean, he's definitely got a weird combination. So if you don't have either of his elements, then he might do some good stuff for you. But, you know, with exception divines and that existing, it's always a little bit iffy whenever you get a regular legendary that's not an exception. But he is a pretty spooky baby. Definitely a pretty spooky baby. Like, look at him. Yeah, attack your tail. Do whatever you want. Eeyok. Eeyok. I don't know if that's a really fitting name. Maybe it should be called something like Shane. You know, because of the snake tongue thing. I don't know. But either way, we're going to level him up to, let's say, 25? Let's do 25. That seems to be the sort of cut-off point that we're at. Because if we level him up to 25, we get the bonus Dragon Collector points. And legendaries, divines, and that, they give quite a lot of points. So I am going to eat them up and devour them. But, you know, he's a very pretty dragon. Look at his horns and everything. Oh, he's really cool. Really cool little snakey. And getting him for free is wonderful, rather than spending the, like, $40 or whatever it was. No way, dude. No way am I doing that. So, either way, let's try and go for another clover. We didn't get it, so, yeah, we don't care too much about that anyway. But maybe we should check our Dragon Collector points. You know, it makes me think. Maybe we should actually check it. So, we've got 110,000, basically. Which means we've got to double our points if we ever want to go for that Pinata dude. But at 130,000, we will get 50 enchantment tickets, which may give us quite a lot of the divine materials, or trinkets at least, that we need. Some legendary stuff, which means that maybe at that point we'll be able to get another fully leveled up legendary or something. But, you know, rank 380 ain't too bad. Ain't too bad, especially considering we barely ever buy anything. Give us extraordinary. Damn you, game. Every time. Every damn time that we go to do that, that's what ends up happening. Very sad days, boys. But considering that we have done that, we've hatched our wonderful legendary, I guess we've got a couple of divine tickets left to open, so let's open a couple of them, and then we'll probably continue on with our bottomless dungeon stuff, because I really want the ivory dragon, but like every single week, I have little faith. I am of very little faith. I don't care about you, little envoy. I've had you plenty of times now. We got you in the original event. We've got you in this event. I don't care. I just do not care anymore. So what divine pieces do we get here? We got a duplicate of him, the Bone Wing. Do we already have a duplicate? I actually don't remember. Whatever, we'll take the ticket anyway. We got another 40 pieces for Mount, which is just taking the mick at this point. Why? Every time it's an epic dragon, it's 40 pieces for the Mount. They just need to go away. They're just reproducing at a very alarming rate. You know? And we got a divine piece, that's at least something. Better than nothing. And it's another singular piece of Mr. Osiris. Very sad days. We will get another 10 pieces for Osiris at 600. But is that really going to make any difference? Probably not. I don't know, to be honest with you. I would like the 75 extra gems. I don't know if we're going to be able to get them or not. But we should have weekend events coming tomorrow, which should be a nice little boost for us. Basically, whenever the weekend events come out, they just give tons and tons of extra divine tickets, so eat them up. Eat them up for dinner if you have to, whatever you need to do. But let's go ahead and do this. I'm sorry, I can't force myself to do the bottomless dungeon on my own. It makes me want to projectile vomit all over the floor. So here we are. Here we are. So we basically just need to do a bunch of weak attacks, and the weak attack quests are one of the more annoying ones, mainly because when you get into the later stage dragons, it's kind of difficult to defeat things with weak attacks. But just performing weak attacks, that's easy. Performing them, you can just get a bunch of low level dragons and just farm for it, basically. But since I've got these two high-level dudes in, maybe that wasn't the smartest idea. Essentially, at this point in the dungeon, a lot of people should be at the point where they sort of understand when you should probably put your mains in for the very first fights, and when you should hold back and sneeze, apparently. When you should hold back and sneeze. Oh, that sounds like a fantastic idea, doesn't it? But yeah, of course I go outside, I do things, and I end up sick again. It's just in my old garden. I always get ill. I always get ill going in that garden. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But, you know, coming back to DML after like another couple of days of not playing it, I don't know. I don't feel like I've missed out on anything. Even though during the Divine Event period, it just feels like not an awful lot's been happening. Am I the only one that thinks that? I don't know. It just feels like nothing's really happened the last couple of days or so. It's just sort of been do the solo event, and that's about it. Which I think is a good thing, but at the same time, you still have a solo event to do, which is Snore. But it is a good way to get some bonus Divine tickets, get a free Nurture Dragon for those that want it. So, I'm not going to complain for the people that want it. Power to you. I'm glad that you're going to get yourself a new dragon, and you're going to get a few extra spins on the RNG loot boxes. Although I say that I detest them, so I wish that they would just go away forever. Can't we just have some cooler microtransactions if we're going to have them in game? But why loot boxes? They're just boring. Everyone does them. It's like the most overused scummy thing that you can pop in your games these days. Like, can't we just get something else? Like, someone had to create the concept of like RNG loot boxes, right? Can't we get a new sort of thing that isn't quite as scummy? That would be wonderful. But oh well. I guess some of the other things that DML, for example, does in-game is just as scummy, if not scummier than loot boxes, like overpricing everything in the shop by 2,000%, and then advertising everything as being 50% off, even though we've never seen it in a deal before. So I guess you could say there's a lot of different things that I could complain about. But I feel like all I ever do is complain. So I'm gonna not do that. Although I will complain right now that I don't have any dragons that have weak attacks to use on these enemies. Like, not a single attack. What am I supposed to do? I'm trying to get these tests done, and you're not letting me. See, this is another problem with the randomness of the dungeon quests. It's just sort of like, if you don't have an AoE dragon, you're screwed. If you don't have a specific type of dragon to face a certain week's waves, you're screwed. I could have attacked him with the plant there, but I just wanted him to die. But it's just really annoying sometimes, because there's nothing that you can do to get the extra points. Like, if we could choose what quests we could do, that would probably be a lot nicer for people. But maybe then certain people would just get billions of points in a week. But as it is, certain players just, depending on how they roll their quest for the week, they might just get screwed over. And getting screwed over by random RNG never feels fun. That is like rule 101. At least give us something for having to do all this annoying stuff. But no, instead we get like 30-point quests and things like that. It's just boring. But again, maybe that's just because I hate the dungeon in general, but I really don't like this perform weak quests or kill with weak quests. Well, defeat. Let's say kill might be a little bit extreme there, but defeat, still annoying because it also means that your teams get absolutely murdered. Literally murdered this time. Because they just get to slap you down while you're using all of your weak attacks, and Dragon Fury's busted so it doesn't count hits. It's wonderful. I also love the fact that the screen bug is still happening, where if you resize the game, then you can't click any buttons. I love that that's still a bug. Thank you, game, for your wonderful addition to my life and making me want to gouge my eyeballs out whenever I play you. But you can see we're probably not going to get to the purple chest this week again, but as long as we get most of the chests opened, I've eventually got to get one of the weekly dragons right. Eventually, after weeks and weeks and weeks, I've got to get one in one of the chests, right? No? Well, I mean, that's basically the conclusion that I've come to, that it's just like, oh yeah, you're not going to be getting any of these dungeon dragons anymore. Have fun. Haha. But one thing I will say is I finally did get some divine tickets in those chests this week, which was the first time since they were brought them out, which has been like a week and a half. So I felt pretty good about that. It's like, wow, I thought that they had legit like turned off divine tickets for me, but here we are fine. Still no dragon though. But there's some people that open up their second chest and they get the new dragon like 2 weeks in a row. I'm like, why? Why can't I be like, why has the dungeon just always hated me? It just hates me. I've got a vendetta against it now. It's got a vendetta against me. It's only going to get worse. Like, let's be real. It's only going to get more violent. And if I don't get a dragon for like 2 months at the dungeon, I will probably freak. Just because I hate RNG as is, and then they're going to do that to me. I'm not sure how much of a fan I'm going to be of it. Let's open these last 4. Shebang! Nothing. Wow, wasn't that exciting? That's legit every time I open up chests these days. It's pretty sad. Pretty sad. But regardless, that is pretty much everything that we want to be doing for now. So, you know, good luck at everything that you are doing. Do remember that we have the castle event starting very soon. You need to get your dragons ready. Get your dragons evenly leveled if you can. If you're someone with uneven teams, try and level up your lowest as much as you can towards the highest level dragon that you have. But always remember, it's risky only having 1 or 2 dragons as your main 2 in because of castle events and things like that. So realistically, it's safest to have like 6 dragons, all the same level with a bunch of different elements. Level them all up, and then you'll be good for the castle events. But that takes a very long time. It costs a lot of food, it costs a lot of resources, and it takes far too long. So I understand if you don't have a team like that, but you know, that is the best way to handle yourself for those special events. But regardless, thank you for joining me, and until next time, I will see you then.